What is up, all you beautiful people? It's I, AkemiTCG, back here with a brand new video. I've been having a big blast with Tenyis, and I got a special guest with us today. His name is Alex.
How's it going, guys? Good friend of your boy AkemiTCG. Just want to share with the world some thoughts. So here we go.
So I just got into Tenyis just a couple days ago. This is the guy that actually introduced me to them, and I was just wondering how you found out about the Tenyi deck, and what drew you into it.
Before this deck, I was playing Magical Musketeer, doing all right, going second build, but it wasn't cutting it for me because you were very reliant on your normal summon. So I kind of wanted to flip it on its head and be like, what deck doesn't care about its normal summon? And scrolling through various Reddit posts and YouTube videos, I eventually stumbled upon a Tenyi giant ballpark deck, where I thought that was interesting. I thought the concept was interesting, where you just special, and then use the ballpark basically as your main power move. But I ended up not liking it, so I took the Tenyi part and then started mixing and matching, because since Tenyis often special summons themselves from your hand for virtually free, I wanted to incorporate some different ideas for what normal summon reliant engines you can use, which we'll get into in a minute. But it's very versatile and no duel is really the same, so that's what makes it fun as well.
So how do you feel about this build right now that you have? Is it the most competitive build that you can make, or you feel like there might be something a little bit better?
It's pretty close to what I'd want. It's very versatile against meta decks right now, especially like Shadows, Dinos. It can play through Nibiru, not clickbait. The only problem it will lose to, but this is a lot of decks have this problem, is running into floodgates, like summon limit, someone's setting 5 passing with 3 judgment. Like, of course you're not going to get through that, but for the most part, I've been playing online and it's working pretty well. Unless you draw all like 7 of your bricks somehow in a row, you're gonna be able to do something. So it's a very interesting build, and it's gonna look unconventional.
Okay, if it plays through Nibiru, that's all we'd like to know. Want to just hop
Yeah.
right into it?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Alright, let's go for it. So this is his deck build. We're just gonna go step by step the cards he runs. You're running 44 cards. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct, because like I said, there's a decent amount of bricks, so you want to. I personally like playing more than 40 slightly, because it gives you less of a chance to draw into. You can see, for example, an artifact scythe. You never want to see that in your hand for the most part. So it gives you that extra flexibility. Same thing with like the other cards. Is there's 3 of you don't want to start with, but you want to eventually draw into, kind of deal. So 44 is a number I can settle on right now, which is pretty good.
Okay, let's go through the card by card.
Go for it.
So Mare.
Yeah, so I'll start. I start off. Some people looking at 3 Mare and like, what's wrong with this guy? But I'll get into the combo in a minute. But one of the Link monsters pitches for cost to resummon a monster from your graveyard. So you'll use it to pitch Mare to then summon the Mare off of its effect. So typically, it's very hard to search Mare. You can only use it through a couple spell cards, or like Yazi, for example. But Mare, you want to be able to discard it really easily. So that's why I play 3 to maximize it in my hand.
Okay, got it.
Next, you'll see I play 3 of each Tenyi monster, because you want, like I said, it's the main combo. You want to see 2 Tenyis in your hand. Even if you 2 of the same, it's not even a problem, because you can use both effects. It doesn't necessarily have to be just one of each. Like if you play multiple and if you draw all 3, it's not the worst. You can play through that.
Yeah.
So you play each of 3 because you want it. Like, some people don't like some of the certain effects, but I like having all of them for the flexibility.
Do you ever feel bad when you draw, like, let's say 3 of a Tenyi card? Let's say, like, you open your hand, you draw 3 Vishudas. Is that
really
playable?
Depends. It really depends. I'll take it, to assume you're going first. It's not the best, because you want to have the other engines to be able to go into a full combo. But say you have 4 Tenyis and, I don't know, a righty driver. That's okay. Or even, not even that. Take like a brick I run into often is drawing straight invocation. If you have invocation of 4 Tenyis, it's not the worst. Especially if you draw the light one, because Ashuna is the light one, and it lets you special from deck, which is, I don't know how they got that. It's stupid. But if you have 4, you can just special or special one, link it off, special another one, because all you have to do to special them is not control an effect monster, or at all, just a normal monster or nothing. So you special link 1, special link 2, use its effect, special link 3, and you can have the option, since it's a normal monster link 3, go into the link 4, the new one from Dual Overload, and it's really good. Especially, I can get into some certain things later, but it's a really good card to go into, so it's not the worst. It's not a dead if you just draw just the monsters themselves.
Okay, copy. Let's go right into the Vanity's Fiend, the 3 of.
Well, yeah, people are gonna hate, but it beats almost every deck going first, and as long as they don't have a Lightning Storm, Dark Ruler, just your normal outs to everything else, you're fine. So you don't, like I said, you don't necessarily normal in this deck unless you'll see the different options in my profile, but it's the strongest normal summon in the game right now. It's absolutely bonkers.
Absolutely agree. I've played a couple games where I just summon Vanity's Fiend and they just scoop on the spot.
Oh, people get mad online.
It's
sad,
it's pretty
hilarious.
bonkers, actually. Yeah, I agree.
And
then
also another thing to note is it's an out to Winda. You special 1 Tenyi, normal, attack over, and you're good.
Oh yeah, that is very true too. Very easy out to Winda.
One of my favorite outs to Winda. It's hilarious.
And then we got next Artifact Scythe. I noticed you're not running Sanctum. Is there a reason for the 1 Scythe?
If you look into the extra deck at around the 10th spot, you'll see that also another new card, Artifact Dagda. So what you can do is if you open, let's say, 2 Tenyis, 2 Tenyis and an Alistair. Do your standard Tenyi combo, but instead of going to the link 2 for Tenyi, go into Artifact Dagda, normal Alistair. Or sorry, I misspoke. You'll do the 2 Tenyis, normal summon Alistair, and one of the monsters in a Dagda. And hopefully, or I misspoke. It's not Alistair. You're supposed to have Lefty Driver. My mistake.
Yeah,
that's
fine.
It's late. I'm going backwards. So you 10 units into 2 monsters, normal summon Lefty Driver, Dagda, and then you'll see Needle Fiber, and then you pop your own Scythe by setting it with using TG Wonder Magician. So it's an interesting combo you can do. If not all else fails, you can do that to try and hope that you can survive a turn.
Oh, okay. So you use lefty, righty, go into Needle Fiber or Dagda, whatever, right?
Well, you have the 2 Tenyis. You summon the 2 Tenyi, Monk of the Tenyi, and any other Tenyi monster you have. You also normal righty driver, get lefty driver. So you have 2 monsters and then a tuner and a non-tuner. So you do Dagda first, then Needle Fiber. Summon, you can summon Adhara, the level 1 Tenyi, and then go off from there. Because you'll set the Dagda effect will set on the Needle Fiber effect, setting Scythe, and then you just link away from there. You can go into link 3 for Tenyi, or whatever you want, depends on your hand.
Okay, so you leave Needle Fiber on board, so you can special summon Wonder Magician during the opponent's turn, and then you pop your own Scythe, basically.
Yeah, make sure, a mistake I always do is I'll usually shotgun the Scythe. Don't do that. Infinite Impermanence is a bitch, so...
Oh, that's really true. So wait until they do something, or wait until Infinite Impermanence isn't a threat, and then Needle Fiber into Wonder Magician.
Exactly.
Okay. Good call. So 2 Alistars.
Okay, so people are gonna think it's weird as well, but the problem with Tenyi is if you don't open enough Tenyi, you can't do anything, because I don't play like Alistair Link, I don't play normal Link 2s. I could play like a Lamp Link 2s, but the extra deck space is tight. So typically, you want to have 2 Tenyis and an engine piece, whether it be Ready Driver, Vanity's Fiend, Alistair. Problem I always have, drawing multiple invocations, drawing multiple magical meltdowns. Drawing multiple Alistairs isn't the worst, but if you draw 3, it sucks.
That's pretty bad, yeah.
So I like having 2. I settled on 2 of each, and I usually haven't had any problems with that. When I had 3, I would draw 3 magical meltdowns and invocation. I was like, this is not working, so I cut it down, and it works good ever since.
Okay, so you feel like this is the right ratio. So you're technically playing 4 Alistars and then 2 invocation.
Yeah, like you can also see I'm not playing terraforming or set rotation. They were too cloggy out, or even if you like set rotation, especially you activate set rotation, they'd leave their field spells set, and then they would bounce your fields. so you can't play anymore with your field spells. It's kind of annoying. So.
Oh, I
That's
see.
why.
I see. Okay, interesting. So I noticed in your extra deck, because you're
Mhm.
playing Alistair, you're not playing Makaba. Is that because Ashuna is the only light target?
Typically, you also have like if your Avermax is popped, you can use that, or you can use um, the Link 4 Tenyi as well. It's the least common one, but also I don't run Mechaba because Caliga is a much. I'll get into a combo later, but Caliga plus Avermax, it's what do you do? Because you can usually pretty easily end on the Synchro Tenyi, which banishes a monster effect.
Mm-hmm.
When a monster effect's activated, you have Caliga on board and Avermax, so they can't attack over your Caliga, and your Berserker Synchro Tenyi will banish whatever monster effect activates, so they have no monster effects for the turn.
Okay. Okay. Copy. Copy.
Mechaba would go in if I have more space, but I just don't.
It's just I'm just looking at all the lights too, because like I was discussing this with one of my buddies earlier,
Hmm.
where we do the monk combo, and before we go into shaman, you go Alistar and go into Makaba, so you can't get Nibiru because it's not 5. Um,
That's a valid option. I'm not gonna say it's wrong.
yeah,
I just my style of playing. This isn't from my experience, so I could take that into account. But if you're afraid of Nibiru that much, just don't summon 5 at a turn. Just
yeah.
don't go into um, Mare. Just do your standard combo.
Or if you
Because you can,
somehow just like go into monk special summon, then tribute summon for vanities, then attack pass.
or I'll try to bait out the Nibiru. I'll do a ton of different, like, because if you have multiple Tenyis in hand, if you have 3 or 4, you can easily bait out a Nibiru unless they're smart and they wait.
Mm-hmm.
Then at that point, you're just playing against a good player. So it's just, you can't be afraid of cards. Like, you can't be afraid of impermanence and stuff like that. It's just you gotta play your turn. If you get Nibiru, they have it. You can't do much about that.
Okay, so
My,
it's just
my opinion.
something. If they activate at the right time, then you're screwed. But like that's with most combo decks, anyways, right?
Yeah, like it's going to be every going first deck. This is typically a going first deck that can go second. Fortunately, that's why I like this build as well. But
Yeah.
I'll get into that. But yeah,
Okay, so let's go right into the lefties and righties. Alright, why do you play 2 lefties and 3 righties? Like they
okay.
do
So I don't
exactly
know.
the same thing, right?
So I don't know.
Oh wait, no, they don't. They do not
They
actually.
don't. So not many people are aware of Lefty Driver's second effect. The turn that it's not sent to the graveyard, you can banish it to add Righty Driver to your hand. So Lefty Driver is inherently a second Righty Driver for a follow-up turn,
Turn your images.
and you can pitch it off Shaman.
Oh, that's really good. You pitch it off shaman. Then you accept the turn this card. I really wish it was worded as if like you can only activate 1 effect per turn, so that way
Like
you can abuse
Lefty
it
summons
more.
Righty or Righty summons Lefty. You mean?
No, I mean
Or
like
you
you
can
can
pitch
send
it
it
and
to the
banish.
graveyard, but since you didn't activate lefty this turn, you can activate the first effect or something like that.
Yeah, but then it'd be a $30 card, so let's not go there.
It was so common from dual power, so maybe not.
I still need to pick mine up, but with the whole situation going on, I gotta wait a little.
Yeah.
But yeah, I play 2 because when I play 1, I tend to draw 1, and then it's useless because you can't do anything with it. So I like having the option of, oh, if I need this next turn. It's come up actually before in duels where if I search the Ready Driver, I have a normal summon and a Tenyi, you can go into play, so it helps.
Yeah, the righty's really good because like no matter what you do when you summon that card, when you normal summon it, you can't special summon it, but you normal
No.
summon it, then you summon lefty from anywhere besides banish.
Yeah, and now that I think about it, like ideally you could, if you want an extra combo extender, you could play 1 for 1, but that's a little risky there. That's just like you can summon. You have a couple options, but I might look into that. But
That's kind of
it's interesting, but it's not the greatest because you can just from brainstorming 1 for 1 into Righty Driver or go into Needle Fiber from there if you have another monster, but that's a little specific.
yeah. It says you can substitute this card for any one Synchron tuner. Have you thought about playing like Synchron cards at all? Or
Hell no.
anything?
Too much spice. Let's
Drill
move on.
Warrior, dude. Attack directly for 1200.
Hell no.
Alright, so Robot Buster. I'm assuming this is for Union Carrier combos.
Yeah, you can see the Union Carrier. So I actually just did this a couple hours ago when I figured out how to consistently get it out. So all you need is a Dark Monster, which you have a lot of. You
Yeah.
have Vanity, you have Vashuda, which is searchable as well. So what you want to do is you want to have you'd end on you'd have an Alistair or a way to get to Alistair, Tenyi or two Tenyis with access to a dark monster. So it can be one Tenyi with access to a dark or two Tenyis, one of them being Vishuddha. So you basically do Tenyi combos, but you go into Union Carrier because they're both worms.
Mm-hmm.
Because it requires two same type or attribute.
Okay.
Normal Alistair.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll have your dark monster either in hand or grave, doesn't matter, and your Alistair. So you do Union Carrier, Caliga, one effect for the turn, Caliga, Search, Destruction, Sword.
Mm-hmm.
So they can only activate one monster effect for the turn, and you play Caliga in defense, so it can't be Lightning Stormed, and they can't special from the extra deck. And you have an Alistair in hand from using Invocation effect, so you have a 20/100 defense monster, where they can only activate one monster effect, and they can't special from the extra deck.
Oh, that's spice. Alright, so you just special summon one of your dark Tennys or just have access to a dark one.
Yeah, you can even use it from hand, just you need to use it for Invocation.
That's just for Caliga. That's the whole point of that, right?
Yeah, but you need two monsters.
Mm-hmm.
You can even use one Tenyi. Or no, you need two.
No, you definitely need to.
Unless it's Vishuddha, you need two Tenyis.
Right.
Because Alistair Vishuddha could go into Union Carrier. But, yeah, so.
So special summon Vishuddha, then go into Monk. Monk, then special summon a different Tenyi. Then normal summon Alistair. Get your Invocation, link those two, go into... Is that Union Carrier?
Yeah.
And then...
You'd want a normal Alistair first to bait out like an infinite impermanence. But yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But
yeah. That does make sense too. It's just kind of hard because a lot of people are playing hand traps, I agree.
Yeah, but my thought process, it's like, if they have hand traps, they're going to play hand traps. You just got to be able to play through if you're playing a good enough deck, and I think this deck's good enough, so.
Yeah, because there's recursion.
Yep. Yeah, you can see recursion in the later stages of the deck, so.
Okay. So you have your four Foolish Burials, actually. Your three Vessels and the Foolish.
So the three Vessels, 95% of the time, you're sending a Mare, unless you have a Mare in hand.
Right.
So, and off of that, usually, depending on my hand, if I have an Alistair in hand, I'll send whatever target I want for Alistair. Or I'll send, most of the time, the blue one, Shithana, to protect my normal monsters, most of the time. It's also funny, you can get over Dragoon of Red Eyes if you send the green one, because if you can make a normal monster, which is typically the Link 3 or even the Link 1, in some cases, not for this one, but you can, because the green one in grave or in hand, you can make a monster your normal monster's attacking, lose 1500 attack. So if they have something 4500 or less, you can get over it with your Link 3. So it's also a nice card to have. That's why I have it at 3. Another reason to keep it at 3.
Yeah. Also, I think Dragon of Red Eyes can negate Nahada too.
It can if I try to bait it out beforehand.
Okay, right, obviously.
But it's your last ditch. You want to, because that's the one thing this deck also has. I forgot to mention. No one knows what the hell it does.
Yes.
The first time they see it.
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
Got that unknown factor. So people were like, "Oh, you're just sending them on. It just special stuff. All right, cool, whatever. Forget about its second effect, and then you activate the attack declaration. They have nothing to respond with. So it's fantastic. But yes, back to Vessel of the Dragon Cycle.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, if you control a normal monster. So usually you'll Tenyi link one into Monk. You use Vessel. It lets you send one to grave and then add a Tenyi monster to your hand. Or a Tenyi monster. So it's you just need either two Tenyis or Vessel and a Tenyi, and it's so consistent it hurts. It always sucks when you draw like 3 to Vessel, and then because it's all hard ones per turn. So
yeah, that's the only thing that sucks about it. But if it wasn't a hard ones, then it'd be at least $5 for a rare.
Yeah, exactly. That's half the reason why I play more than 40 as well, because you don't want to draw multiples because it sucks.
This is also like a +1 too, so it's just so free.
It's very free. I agree. That's why I like it.
The best part with this deck is if you have a Shitana on hand and they don't know about it, and they just run over your Berserker, and then you just summon it back and pop one of their cards.
Yeah, there's a funny story about that actually. I had a Shithana in hand playing against a Danger Granmaju deck, and it was game 3, last round before top cut at locals. He normal summons Greninja. Keep in mind, I have nothing effect negation in my deck currently, besides the infinite permanences, which I didn't have. He all he had to do, he had like 20 cards banished. All he had to do, I had an Avermax on board and a Link 3 Berserker. He normal summons Gren, activates, and for some reason he activates Danger Bigfoot in his hand. He has 5 cards in his hand. I roll dice, hit the Bigfoot. He targets the Link 3. Just I activate the Unknown Shitana in my hand as a trigger effect. It resummons the monster and destroys the Greninja, and I win.
So if he never used the Bigfoot, it just attacked with Greninja, you would have lost, correct?
Yeah, because it's a normal summon monster, and it would get over Avermax for whatever damage that was. But that's the nice unknown factor of the deck. And then he tried call buying it, but I'm like, it banishes itself. And he's like,
For costs.
Yep, so you can literally not hit it unless you have like a Solemn Strike. So if you can't get it to grave, keep it in your hand. So like never special it to the field and leave it there.
That's insane. That's so sad. That sounds so unfortunate.
And the funnier one too is the red one, Mapura. It's the same thing, only for targeting. So if they like they wouldn't IP you, but Trident.
Impermanence?
Well, you wouldn't impermanence a normal monster.
Alright, that is very
But
true.
any targeting effect, it negates and destroys the monster. So if you play against Zodiac, you bait out the Trident with the Mapura in hand. Keep it in hand and then just end their life.
So it's kind of niche about Mapura, where I realize the card is really niche because I played the field spell, Flawless Protection.
Yeah.
And it makes it so the normal monsters cannot be targeted, I believe?
They're unaffected by other monsters.
By other monster effects. So it's even
only non-effect monsters.
Yeah. So it makes Mapura even more niche because I'm trying to think of all the meta cards that do target nowadays, and a lot of stuff is non-targeting, like Dingirsu. I hate that card absolutely.
No, I agree. It sends, and that's one thing around my deck, but that's another issue. But I agree with you there. But it's nice because people won't remember it. So when it does come up eventually, and there is a lot of targeting, for example, I think the new Eldrick, the new zombie archetype.
Yeah.
I think that targets for abilities. I could be wrong.
This is a new name for it. I forgot the old name of it.
Give me a sec. I can look it up.
King.
I sent it to you today, so it's ELDI or ELDLICH, or you can search.
Eldlick.
Yep.
You can swim. Oh yeah. That's it. Targets. All of it targets. It targets
one card in the field. So a lot of people are playing that, and it's like $50 on TCGPlayer right now. So it's gonna be common, or it's gonna come up in the top tables, in my opinion. It's a good card. I hate playing against it.
Yeah, the card's insane. Also, like,
go ahead.
On that note, with that set, I feel like Adamantimators will continuously go up in price because people realize the deck's really good.
You see, I don't have a problem with this deck. That deck with this deck.
Adamantimators?
Yes, because correct me if I'm wrong. There's the red, the green, and the blue synchro. One negates spell and traps. One sends cards back to hand. Correct. And then the third one is the fire one's irrelevant for your turn, I think.
Yeah, one's a DD Crow, one's a one's just a special summon, whatever.
They would summon, like, I don't know, Block Dragon or something, I don't know.
And one's a spell trap negate, that's it. So
okay.
Those are the three main, like, big meta killers. DD Crow, spell trap negation, and then I guess a Monster Reborn.
Okay. So my deck doesn't care about that because for the DD Crow, who cares? You have multiple avenues. You can get through one negate or one banish. Unless they banish your Mare, it kind of sucks. But then you can just normal and do some jank play from there. The spell and trap, I have 10 spells, and I don't need them. Mm-hmm. They're 6-standers for the most part. Or if you have Magic Meltdown, they can't negate it. So good meme. And then the last one is I don't care. So they can vomit their board out, or look. The only thing that really sucks is Appaloosa, but you just bait out 2 or 3 depending on how much attack it has, and then attack over it, and then go from there. It's not a big deal.
I feel like Appaloosa shouldn't be a really huge deal for this deck. I mean, the special summon the Tenyis is kind of rough because if they just straight up negate you, shoot it in hand, then that's it.
Yeah, but if you have an easy out to it is either if you have like 2 or 3 Tenyis and an Alistair.
Mm-hmm.
By the time they get to the Alistair, they probably don't have a Link 4 Appaloosa.
Right.
The only thing hard to lose to is just like inherent summoning negation, or even skill drain's kind of annoying. I can play through it. It's just kind of annoying.
All right, but we digress. A little bit
Yeah,
off topic there, but it's all right.
A little rambling.
It's
But
gonna
we
be
can
a long
definitely-
video, anyways. If you guys
Yeah,
can't
okay.
tell.
It's more in depth, and especially with all this free time we have, who cares, right?
All right. So we got 3 pot of Avarice. Do you feel like this card is like, good at 3? Do you feel it? I feel like
So-
drawing multiples a bit. It's kind of spaghetti, isn't it?
It can be. It's never a dead card though. If you have 2 Tenyis, Pot of Avarice is live. Because you summon those 2, you end up, and you basically, by the time you get to just the final combo of those 2 Tenyis, you already have 5 monsters in grave and a monster on board. Add in, if you have a Vessel in your hand, if you have Alistair, if you can summon Mare,
Mm-hmm.
you'll get tokens, Link Climb, go from there. If you're on an Avermax by itself, you already have like 8 monsters in grave. And I usually like having Avarice to dig for the Vanity's Fiend, dig for the Alistair, dig for Righty Driver, dig for that normal summon.
Okay, definitely a fair point. I just can't abuse it as much in my budget build.
No, because my deck generates a lot of extra monsters, so.
Right, I'm
That's
not
just-
playing IP. I'm not playing Avermax or anything like that. So
And even if you had to use Union Carrier to special summon any Tenyi, doesn't matter which one it is, because
Mhm.
and then go from there. But it's fine. And then you can see the Foolish Burial is just an extra way to get the Mare,
Mhm.
or Alistair if I draw an Invocation. It's kind of funny to do that sometimes. Because then they don't see the Alistair coming because they don't really know. And then 2 Invocation, 2 Meltdown. So
okay,
That's
yeah,
the-
okay. That's the main board.
yep, that's a lot of talking for just the main deck. So I'll try to go briefly through the extra deck. 3 Invocation monsters. I picked these 3 out of the 5, 6. I don't know how many there are. Magelenica, normal monster. You can combo off the Tenyi's effect because it's protected by Mapura and Shadana. You can use Nahata's effect to attack over something bigger,
Mhm.
and then you can use all the effects are live when it's on board. Purgatrio, your main ender for going second, or if you can going into the 3rd turn, if you can stop your opponent, it ends boards because it gets through, like, it can attack over, say they have like indestructible monster in defense position, or if they spam and then leave their board full of like tokens, it wins in the mirror match because if your opponent summons like with their Link 4, summons a bunch of tokens, you can just attack over that as well.
Right.
And then Caliga, like I mentioned before, it's a crucial floodgate in the deck. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that card sucks. I hate that card.
People hate it. People, like, so many people when I play at locals will like activate an effect, and then they go to like, and they're obviously comboing. So like, take Shadal, they'll send a monster to Shadal, and then they'll try to activate, or they'll use Shadal Fusion, summon Construct, and try to use Construct effect afterwards. I'm like, you can't.
Just
You already
Caliga.
used your effect in turn. Yeah. And they're like, oh, and then can I attack over? I'm like, no, I have Avermax. And they're like, oh, scoop. I'm like, all right, cool.
GG.
Yeah. Next part, Synchros. Berserker Tenyi, part of the combo with Caliga. Or it's just good for going second because you can summon it either if you get Mare and an Adhara on board. If you get a funny interaction I found is if you normal summon Righty Driver, summon Lefty Driver.
Mhm.
Lefty Driver can make itself level 3, I believe,
Yeah.
or 2. It basically, you can make it level 3, and then you have that Righty Driver, which is level 1, and then any level 4 Tenyi, you can go into Berserker straight up.
Wait, that's hilarious, dude.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Okay.
And then Wonder Magician is for the Scythe combo, just to be an annoying floodgate, and also you draw a card when it dies, which is pretty good because people forget about that.
All right, we got an
yep.
Avermax.
Yep, it's dumb because you'll see later down the line, but you can, with just 2 Tenyis and a Mare, you can go into Shaman, dump Mare, get Mare, summon the 3 tokens, use 2 tokens for Masquerena. Tenyi plus Masquerena is a undestructible Avermax. The only thing that can get over the Avermax is a second Avermax with hacking during their turn. because that's how effects resolve. QQ.
Okay. Damn, that's pretty rough.
Yeah. And next we have the new Link 4 Tenyi. I used to not like it. I used to not even play it. And I'm like, what am I doing?
This card's broken, dude.
So here's the thing. You do the same thing with the what I just mentioned with the 2 Tenyis into Mare, only instead of going into Masquerena Avermax, if you have a Vanity Fiend on board, or in hand, use 2 tokens and the Shaman, summon this, you now have a Mare and a token on board. If you can extend further, you can go into the Link 3, it's better, but if you can't, normal summon over the Mare into...
Vanities?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Brain fart. And then if you happen to have any access to Nahata, they have to summon a monster. Normal summon a monster with 1900 or more attack to get over your token, because you can make the monster lose 1500 attack, and the Mare token's at 300.
Okay, 1800 you mean, right?
Oh, sorry, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
So, and there's not many cards like that right now in the meta, so it's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, I was playing against a Pendulum player earlier, and I did summon Vanities and left Sasara on board with the 300
Token?
mini token, and he just scooped. Like, he played like 5 cards, and I think he realized he couldn't summon Endymion from the Pendulum zone because it has to be special summon. So he just scooped there.
Yeah, and the nice thing about this card is it protects effect monsters from targeting and attacks, not just attacks. So if you have Vanities in this on a token on board, they can't target the Vanity with impermanence. They can't target it with anything.
Right.
So it's the only thing that you lose hard to is evenly matched, because you can't banish a token face down.
I feel like this deck loses hard to evenly match.
If I have a token on board, yes. If I don't, it's okay. I usually leave Avermax on board, and I'm okay.
Okay, so we got Berserker.
Yep,
we got the standard package here.
Yeah, if there was more extra deck space, I would run 2 of each of these, of the Berserker and the Shaman, because they're very important. You could say I could cut down the Tenyi, not Tenyi, Dagda Unicarry Needle Fiber, but it's too strong to have, like, just having the option. I don't even do it all the time, but it's nice having the option. It wins me games more often than having a second Shaman would.
But it helps because you play 3-pot of Avarice, so it's easier to recycle it once you use it.
Yeah, exactly. That's another reason. But also, hold on, my computer just went to sleep. Shaman's second effect too is if a normal monster activates or attacks, you can destroy a card on the field. Non-targeting. Or no, you targeting. My apologies.
Declared.
But if it's targeting. But if
holy crap! I did not read that. I did not know she had that effect.
So if you have just like Shaman and Monk, if you have a monster that's higher than 1600 attack, you can just attack with Monk into something and then pop the monster that's higher.
So hypothetically, even on the turn you use the Mare combo, if you don't go into Sasara yet, you can attack with one of your Mare tokens.
Yeah.
And then pop one card in the field and then summon Sasara and then
go out from there.
Yep.
That's
really good.
Next is Dagda, like I explained before. You have to make sure Shaman has an effect where you can't activate extra deck monster's effects after using her first effect to summon a monster. So don't use the tokens to go into Dagda or Needle Fiber if you plan on using their effects that turn. So usually you want, but another niche thing I found is that if you have Righty Driver and you have access to Shaman, summon Shaman, but don't activate the effect because it's not a summon effect. It's just an activation you can use.
Correct.
So you summon Shaman, Needle Fiber, off of Righty Driver, obviously, and go from there. And then you can, if you have extenders, go from there and summon your cards. Like if you have anything really, but just make sure you activate Shaman last before you want to activate any effects.
Right, because it locks you into specific.
Only Tenyi monsters can activate their effects.
Yeah, correct. From the extra deck.
Yep, and next is Needle Fiber and Union Carrier. I think I've explained those enough. Everyone understands how those work.
That's fine.
Masquerena, really good card. I need to get this. I don't have it physically yet, but that's the case with most of these cards. And last is Monk of the Tenyi. It's very important. It helps you in Link Climb. I would run 3. You might be wondering why I'm not running 3. It's the same reason for not running multiple Tenyi of the Shaman Berserker. If we had extra deck space at 20, they would all
Yeah,
go
it'd
in there.
be. I think a lot of decks would be a lot easier with the ED space of 20, especially with Super Poly at 3.
Yeah,
Oh man.
I considered that. But due to extra deck space, I almost didn't even run Invoked because it took up so much extra deck space. That's how tight it is.
'Cause I feel like I'm looking at IP Masquerena, and I feel like the only reason why you put in the deck is to climb into Avermax.
Yeah, those cards are basically conjoined at the hip.
Yeah, because you just go
Or
Shaman, IP, and then.
or if
Boom.
you don't have access to Shitana, the blue one,
Hmm.
you Masquerena with any monster into your Berserker, and it's the same thing.
Right. You could
But yeah,
substitute it for Beat Cop or like a cheaper one.
get out of here. No, this deck is not meant to be played budget, unlike some people here.
All right, so just one more thing about the extra deck before we move into the sideboard.
Sure.
Draco Berserker. We're just gonna
Mm-hmm.
go. There's one card that I see used a lot. Boxia. How do you feel about this card?
Uh,
Have
I
you
could
read it?
decide it. I've read it. I just haven't used it yet. It's nice because since level 8, you usually bounce 2 cards, but it's targeting. It's targeting bouncing, which you can already do with Shuda, and you typically don't care about it that much. If there was a meta where I was running into cards where I couldn't get over,
Hmm.
I would consider that. But between Invoked and Avermax, there's not many cards I can't get over right now. If that makes sense.
Yeah, this is a like a slightly harder bounce. I really wish it didn't target, but instead of going back into their hand, like for some cases, like let's say you play Oasis, I don't want that back into your hand.
Mm-hmm.
But Boxy just shuffles it straight into your deck, which is pretty nutty.
That's nice. That's true. And also the second effect lets you basically recycle cards you can maybe with Master Rule 5 it might become more important. So I definitely look into that. I just have no experience with it because like say you have a token, you pop the token on level 4, link climb from there, stuff like that. So it really depends.
Right.
And yeah, but I would definitely consider it in the future. I've seen it before on lists, and I just never.
Yeah.
Like I said, extra deck space is tight.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you here after looking at all this stuff. All right, let's look at the sideboard. Fossil Dino.
Yep. Okay, so that I would swap out for depending on my matchup, like Mare or Avarice, or if I know I'm playing against something that wants to go second and just spam special summons,
Hmm.
or any deck I know that can just pop off. So like Black Wings with their negate combo, Adamantium if I make them go seconds, stuff like that. If you can go into like either A, you make a waste a turn to attack over it and then special from there, or B, they can't get over it because they don't have an out to it. Like if you have a possibility to go into Avermax and normal summoning that,
Hmm.
it's a good combo. It could be replaced by either Majesty's Fiend or Vanity's Ruler if you're feeling ambitious. But for the most part, I like having it just for the option.
Okay, so it's just like a normal, like if you go into Avermax and you, for whatever reason, don't have Vanity's Fiend, and you know you're going first,
It's just a
then
second Vanity's Fiend.
yeah, exactly. And then they still have to run over Avermax to get to this, anyways.
Exactly.
Okay, that's pretty good. 3 Dark Ruler no more. That's self-explanatory, right?
Yeah, just going second into stupid things. I just want to get over it. Same thing with the evenly match as well. It's just for going second.
Yeah, you can literally Dark Ruler no more, go into Purgatria, then attack everything.
Yep, basically. Well, no, actually, because it prevents damage. But you would.
I mean,
If
you'll
you.
attack everything just to get rid of their board. That's all.
That's true. No, you're correct. Yep, my mistake.
3 Twin Twisters.
Um. So at first, it might look weird compared to like Lightning Storm. If I don't like, you can see from my deck, I don't care about money that much. But Lightning Storm is annoying because if you don't open it, it sucks because you have cards on board. Unless you get wiped, and that's a different story. So I like Twin Twisters because you can pitch the Mare, you can pitch a Tenyi and get it back. You can pitch Lefty Driver. It just discarding this deck is basically an extra resource. Your graveyard is a second hand.
Right.
And you can pop 2 cards. If mine becomes more prevalent or back row decks become more prevalent, I would probably replace the either the Fossil Dyna or the Infinite Impermanence with like Red Reboot, Cosmic Cyclone, stuff like that. But as of right now, of March or April 4th, this is what I found to be best right now.
Yeah,
And then
especially for this deck. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Infinite Impermanence is pretty self-explanatory. Just like, not even Conductor Tyranno, because I can explain that in a sec. But like, Winda, Traptrix Sarah, stuff like that. But UT, you don't care about that much because if it flips your cards face down, you technically don't have an effect monster face up, even if it is effect monsters face down. So you can still special summon with Tenyis, which is hilarious.
Right.
But also, Dinos is a really big matchup. Like, Dinos is probably the deck I hate playing the most because they're like the only deck I found that has more resources available than this deck. And I'm sure you can agree with me there.
Yeah, Miscellaneous Saurus is the dumbest card. Absolutely the dumbest card.
Did I not tell you like a month ago that I want that card banned, and you were like, "What's wrong with you?" And now I think you've changed your mind.
No, like a while ago it was at 1, and I agreed with that just because
it wasn't doing anything.
Broken, right? And now it's at 3, and it's absolutely super broken, especially with the new Jewel card coming out. Jewel, the Jewel Beast Air Sarah. Have you read that card?
Yeah, it lets you search your evolution pill.
Yeah, when it's summoned, you can destroy one dinosaur monster in your hand or face up on the field, so you can destroy one of your babies. And then add a reptile, sea serpent, or winged beast monster with the same level, or an evil pill from deck to the hand. Are you kidding me?
That's dumb. Okay. When that card comes out, switch the Fossil Dyna for Nibiru, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, Miscellaneous Saurus for 1 too.
Yeah, that's bonkers.
It's absolutely bonkers. Like, that's when Miscellaneous Saurus should get hit. This card is like the dumbest card.
It's not even just like the summoning effect, it's the unaffected effect, because it basically says you can't play because all the monsters are dinosaurs and they just pop off.
Right, so like you actually cannot Nibiru them. That's a really sad part.
Yep.
But if they don't have it in hand, then it's not good. Deck's like not that good.
Yeah, that's why at 1 it was fine, because you'd have to Fossil Dig it, right?
Fossil Dig, Oviraptor. You have so many ways to get your stuff.
Honestly, if like Oviraptor goes to 1, basically the same thing.
Yeah, basically any deck like that has so much search potential. I mean, you could say the same thing for Heroes, but
yeah.
for Dinos is...
Heroes is hilarious because all you need is a Vashuda and you just bounce the Dark Claw.
Yeah, exactly. Dark Claw, and then... But if they summon Plasma, you're in a bad spot, kind of, ish.
No, you can bounce it from hand.
Right, it only negates stuff on the field.
Yep, so that's why I don't care about Hero. And that's
so how do you deal with the like border stun?
I haven't run into that.
Wait, let me inspect the border. I think inspect the border prevents you from using any card effects, any monster effects.
You have to have at least a extra deck monster on board. So typically what I would do, usually normal summon a Tenyi if I have it, go into Monk, and then hopefully have a Vashuda in hand or access to it. So if you have either a Shuna or Vashuda, or sorry, you have to have Vashuda because you can't search with Vashuda because then you don't have an extra monster effect. So yeah, if you have Vashuda in hand and any other Tenyi, you can get around it. But besides that, you kind of just lose.
Yeah, if I'm reading this card correctly, if you just if somebody straight up normal summons border, then you cannot get around it.
Yeah, but who's playing that? True King, True Dragos? Like,
that
deck's already hard to play against.
There's Dave Wu, plays border,
okay.
Kaiju.
If I play against him, I know I've already lost. So.
Yeah, it's a pretty rough matchup. You have to go second.
Oh, another point is if they don't negate my Alistair, depending on what you have in hand, if you have a Earth, Fire, or Earth or Fire in hand, you can get over it. You'd have to just go into battle phase. So, for like the thing, like you can see, there's not necessarily no out. It's just you have to think a little about what you're gonna do.
Yeah, that's the problem with I guess floodgate decks in general, because you just can't play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Or you can special Vashuda or any other Tenyi in normal Vanity's Fiend and then attack over it. You have plenty of options.
Against border?
Yeah.
You can't. If I'm reading this correctly.
2,000.
No, you can't. Oh, you can't special summon because these activate from the hand. These aren't inherent summons.
That's true. You're right.
Yeah, which sucks because there's a colon there.
Yeah, you're right. I misspoke. So yeah, my previous 2 points kind of cover that, but so as I like even me, I've been playing this deck almost way too much. I had to switch off decks before I got bored. You still learn with this deck is like the whole Union Carrier Caliga thing I discovered today, and I've been playing this for like 2 months. So
Yeah, that combo's actually insane.
you just gotta keep learning. So yeah, that's mainly the deck, and I can show you some replays I had recently as well if you want to get into that.
Okay, let's go into those spicy replays. We're gonna go step by step because these replays are very,
Very combo
very
intensive.
fast.
Okay, so you can pause the video here. So you can see my hand. That's why I like playing 3 Mare, because you can see I have 2 Tenyis and a Mare and Invoke. It's probably one of the most ideal opening hands you can have.
Yeah.
So you'll see I'll go into the Shaman combo, ditch Mare, summon Mare, and we'll watch this. See how easy this is. All right, Shaman, pitch Mare, get Mare, summon your 3 tokens. Masquerena into Avermax, Alistair, and Mare Synchro summon.
Are you kidding me?
Get Caliga. Now you have 2800 monster. Yep. So you can pause it here. So that was a little too fast for anyone. Once you get to the Avermax, I'm assuming everyone's straight with the Avermax into with Mare and yeah. I wish this was a little slower. Or you can probably press step usually, but so and this is where yeah, there's fine.
Okay.
So just some of the Mare tokens again. Okay, there we go. So you notice that Mare, it reduces level automatically every time it summons a token. So 7 to 4. What card's magically also level 4 is Alistair, and I haven't normal summoned yet. So now I'll normal summon the Alistair. Search Invocation, which is a special summon. 4 and 4, Berserker Tenyi is a level 8, and Mare is a tuner. And now you summon Caliga. You can let the rest of your play. Add Alistair back to hand. Now, and then I summon that just to get the effect because I didn't know if I'd have the token next turn.
Okay, so it's just slightly extra protection just in case.
Yeah, or I was thinking I wanted to go into Union Carrier, but I didn't have enough gas for that, so.
Yeah, you didn't, unfortunately.
Well, because I couldn't use Union Carrier's effect. If Shaman didn't have that restriction, this would be the most broken deck in existence.
No, Shaman definitely needed that restriction because Konami built that Shaman effect with the idea of Mare being played in this deck. That's the whole entire point.
And then one point I want to make is 2 weaknesses you'll see from this board. One is Super Poly.
Yep.
Because I have 3 darks on board, which is bad. 2, there's a token on board, so evenly match absolutely wrecks my board because all would be left is a token. So 2 things to keep in mind. But everything else though, what do you do against this board? You get 1 monster effect and I can banish that monster.
I mean, even if they evenly match you, wouldn't you just keep Caliga on board?
No, I have to keep the token on board.
Why is that?
Due to evenly matches rulings, you can't banish a token monster face down. So
because it banishes it face down, that's why.
Yep.
And since tokens can never be flipped face down, if you evenly match, that literally destroys your board.
Yep.
That sucks.
So I'll keep that in mind if someone makes me go first. But besides that, usually you're good to go.
I mean, for like games 2 and 3, you wouldn't keep the token on board if you had this, probably.
No. So say this is a Master Rule 4 duel. Master Rule 5, the Tenyi and the Caliga wouldn't be under Avermax. And instead of going into Berserker, I would go into the Link 3 Berserker instead and get rid of the token because it's still a normal monster. And probably go into the Link 4 Tenyi as well. It really depends.
Right. So the idea with this lock here is... I want to explain this trifecta lock?
Sure. So the main focus is Caliga. Invoked Caliga says that you can only activate 1 monster effect per turn, even if it attempts to activate a tier 1 effect. So if I negate it, it's done. Berserker Tenyi, so Synchro, any monster effect that's activated, you can banish that monster. So you'll see in the replay what way I intentionally use it, but so the lock between those two is that you get 1 monster effect and you can banish that monster. So unless it's like something that wants to be banished, like Metaphys, it's fine. The third piece, the most important piece, is the indestructible Avermax that you have to attack over, so you can't even attack over the Caliga if you wanted to. So it protects both monsters, and it locks your opponent out of monster effects, which is really important right now, I've noticed.
Absolutely. I agree.
So you can play the replay and people will see for themselves. I think that's a good enough explanation. So I also have no idea what I'm playing against here. I still don't know.
That's so funny, because you think about, look at his whole hand, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, but watch this. Watch what he tries to do. So, pause it.
Yeah.
So, people are wondering, why didn't he negate my Berserker effect? Caligo lets him only activate one of those effects per turn. You can't chain, because it...
Oh, he was trying to activate his destruction effect to blow up one of the cards.
He was trying to destroy Caliga, but he can't destroy Caliga because he can't chain the negation effect because you can only activate one effect.
Right. Once you activate that effect, it's already... This is a continuous effect, so there's no way he could have done anything.
So I don't negate the effect, but I get rid of his stuff. And then Alistair into Link shenanigans. Union Carrier.
Yep.
And I think people can see what's happening here.
Oh, Purgatrio, and then you're gonna put Alistair back to the hand with Invocation.
Wait for it. Keep going.
Oh, you're gonna do the Union Carrier lock, aren't you?
I was going to, and he scooped.
Damn. You didn't need to do it to him, dude. He was already dead.
Well, that's just more of a point I wanted to bring up. You don't have to Union Carrier Shotgun in turn 1. If you can stop your opponent like I did, turn 2, you basically guarantee the win.
His hand was pretty bad, not gonna lie.
Hmm?
Yeah, his hand was pretty bad. Like, the two Avarices were dead in his hand.
Yeah, exactly. The other point, what was that point? Never mind, keep going. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah, all good. My bad, dude.
No, you're good.
Yeah, this...
So that was a replay I wanted to bring up because it's very interesting. Oh yeah, my point was I played this guy like 6 times in a row, and it went back and forth. Like we both wanted to go first, and Dragoon's a bit to get over, but it just shows you that this card that everyone's complaining about all the time, that you can get around it pretty easily.
Yeah, and plus, like when Dragoon comes out, most likely we're just gonna adapt to the meta like OCG and just play our main deck Kaijus in like every deck.
Yeah, that's one thing I consider for my side deck as well. If it becomes more prevalent, I'll definitely use it. So.
Yeah, you have easy outs to your own Kaiju anyway, so.
Exactly.
Alright, let's look at the second one.
So this hand is, so you can pause it first. This hand's also hilarious. Like, I don't even care that I drew 2 Adhara because between the 2 Tenyis and Mare, like I explained before, that's already enough to activate Avarice. And it's funny because there's, you can let the replay play because I think that combo is pretty standard, but you can just watch what I draw off of Avarice. It's pretty funny.
So this is the bread and butter play, as y'all may know now. Basically, somehow get Shaman and get Mare out. Avermax. Put literally everything you just did back to your deck. Draw 2 cards. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Are you kidding me? You drew into Melta and Alistair?
Yeah, it's so dumb.
That's so dumb.
Haven't humbled yet.
Yep. Oh, because you recycled the IP. You just summon IP again to get Berserker. So now this Berserker can't be destroyed.
It's just very funny because I wanted to get a Dark on board for the follow-up turn.
Okay.
So I want you'll see.
That's a pretty gnarly board. Okay.
So this deck loses the Super Polish because all my monsters are Dark usually.
Yeah. Yikes. That mind control did a number on you.
Yeah, when he summoned the Mech Knight Link, I got scared because I was like, I can't summon monsters in zones. It's not Master Rule 5 yet. How do I get over this? But you can keep watching.
His name is Avram too, so you know he's not playing around.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't want to play. He also made me go first, so I kind of knew. So you can pause right here, quick.
Oh, he didn't gear suit.
Yeah, so you can see. Okay, at this point, if I asked you who's gonna win, what would you say?
If he's gonna send you Avermax, he's a bad play. But that's like the only play he can do.
Just answer my question. Who do you think is gonna win based off him summoning that?
In your hand and everything?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna win because he already has secrets face down.
Yep. So play the replay. That's the Avermax. I'm like, all right, get rid of that. So
Okay.
he can't do anything because that's his main play. Top
Yeah.
deck and Invocation, which is hilarious. Gets around
That's
the secret.
hilarious. You drew the invocation anyways. Are you kidding me?
Yep. So you can pause real quick. So I made a mistake. I only had the Tenyi on board. What I should have done, since it's a normal monster, I could have summoned Adhara and linked away first, just to get extra pieces, like, available. I'd be at the same point, only I wouldn't have the Adhara and Grave. I'd be having an extra link monster on board.
Right.
So what I would have done, what I wanted to do was use the Shaman with the whatever monster I summon. It wouldn't be Magiclenica, because I had to in this case, but regardless, I wanted to go into Union Carrier on top of my Berserker, but I didn't because I misplayed. So that's one thing to remember. Make sure you can, if you have Tennies in hand, you can summon them so you can link away into combos.
Right, because they do the same thing in hand as they do in the graveyard.
Correct.
Maybe the only exception could be Shatana if you want to give them the surprise factor, because a lot of people don't see that card coming.
Yeah, exactly. That card comes up, so just keep watching.
Okay. Let's see. You can discard. What are you?
Yep.
I read the second effect. I've never seen that resolve.
Yep, just watch.
Alright, let's do it.
So I also forgot he had Yugioh on board.
Yeah, so you have to attack his stuff 3 times.
Yeah, I wanted to get over it because... So I summon this again. This one's a pretty long one too, so it's kind of an interesting watch. It shows you can grind with this deck. I'm like,
LOL.
okay.
Oh, he had World Lands!
Yeah, but he doesn't know I have the second one in hand.
Oh, he's playing the new Mech Knight Yursu.
Yeah, also that card is annoying. Holy crap. But yeah, he doesn't know I had the second Alistair in hand too. But
oh
yeah,
shit, he activated that?
Yep. But just okay, so before we go to the next play, so I have no extra deck and no hand. 95% of the time, that's a death sentence in this deck. But I mean, based off this board, I can still attack over. I still have 3k indestructible beater on board.
Yeah.
But the top deck is hilarious. Just hit the play button.
If it's what it is, which is what I think it is. Are you kidding me?
Nope. He also activates that effect that lets me. Okay, so that monster he summoned lets me special summon a monster from my graveyard. I'm like, okay, I'll just summon Avermax because you know why not?
I'm confused. Why do you do that?
To defend himself because I couldn't get over 3k with 3k, but with Avermax it gains 300 from the field spell. Mech Knight monsters gain 300.
Oh, World Legacy Scars.
Yep.
That might have been honestly his misplay because I think you probably would have had it in the bag. Well, let's see what you draw. Are you kidding me? You drew into Vanities? You had Vessel, so it's so free. You get Shatana. He loses.
Like, what do you do against this?
He loses, dude.
Well,
he got the return.
Because it's not a special summon,
Yep.
which is weird.
It ain't Stardust Dragon.
So you can see how this deck grinds, right? It's kind of interesting.
Oh, he summons Lib. He gets a second secret.
But he sends my Avermax back to the deck. Why not the Berserker? The one that's indestructible. Also, I tap back Ready Driver. I literally sacked the hell out of this guy.
See, the Avermax isn't indestructible, but it still has the effect. So he's probably more worried about that. You did have Shatana too.
But I have Mare and Grave.
Oh yeah, since the Avermax was a special summon from the extra deck, it's kind of weak.
Yeah. It literally couldn't activate its effects or anything.
Yeah, it would have bounced the
Berserker.
The Berserker. So later on, you can't use Shatana and whatever, but...
Yep.
Let's keep going.
So
Okay.
Yeah, second secret just pissed me off.
Well, you knew he had it.
But he also couldn't activate it for some reason. But then I just bounced that and attacked for game.
That's hilarious. Okay, so it's definitely some misplays from the opponent. I don't think you made too many errors in judgment. I mean, like, you can always dissect back, like, old replays and be like, oh yeah, I should have done this, I should have done that, but that was a good game.
Yeah. I have started studying mine, but I definitely wanted I felt like these two replays showcased certain talking points.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the greatest plays, like, obviously they weren't against meta decks, but they were against interesting cards. So trying to demonstrate the versatility of the deck.
Also, I'm terrified of Mech Knights now. Like, pure Mech Knights were already really good. Like, people were sleeping on pure Mech Knights with Secret and all that, but with Gearsu, oh man.
Imagine that with Invoked as well.
No, I feel like pure Mech Knight is scarier than Mech Knight Invoke. That's probably an unpopular opinion. I'm gonna get roasted for it.
Probably because of Lib, though, is my guess. The Link monster you're hovering.
Yeah, probably not just Lib, but the fact that all of the Mech Knights are inherent summons.
That's also true.
So it just gets over. Let's say like they have border, you just get over it. If you're playing Mech Knight Invoke, you have less Mech Knight cards. You're not playing Avram. You're not playing the weenies.
You know what key side deck I'm thinking though? Side deck card I'm thinking of right now?
What's up?
Torrential.
I think Storming might be a better choice.
I do agree with you there. It really depends. But is Storm Mirror Force searchable once that new card comes out? I don't think so.
You can search it with Trap Trick, but then they know you have it.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. Is the side deck is even more versatile than the deck itself. So Storming's good. You can also play the Tenyi counter trap. I found it works sometimes. It's just once we get the new Tenyi support, I'm gonna try and throw that in. Maybe get rid of the driver engine instead, and see how that works. Because Needle Fiber and Dagda aren't necessarily the best options right now. They're a little bricky, but one, Dagda sets from hand, which is hilarious, and two, it's just you gotta roll with what's good right now. Like when new support comes out, you gotta test your deck out. But
I mean, like the best part with Dagda is even if you have Scythe in hand, right? You don't even have to summon Dagda. You can just go straight into Needle Fiber.
Oh, and set the you're right. That's also true.
So like Scythe isn't technically dead in your hand. Because you just you shotgun into Needle Fiber and then Wonder to pop your own card.
That's true. So it might be worth running extra, or I had a Moral Tech in there at once, but it was a little bad because targeting is kind of bad right now. So I scrapped it. But yeah, to summarize, main parts of the deck: Mare, Vanity Fiend, Invoked. The Tenyis are just bodies to get you to an end result. And I don't think I would change anything right now besides what we just talked about, but that mainly concerns the side deck. So the side deck's really your own.
Okay, so what would you name this this mashup of decks? Is it Tenyi Invoked Fiber Carrier?
I would almost call it Tenyi Stun. Tenyi Invoked Stun.
Tenyi Invoked Stun. Okay, I like it.
Just because there's so many different things. There's special summon negation, effect negation. Basically just not letting your opponent play.
Copy.
You lose. Like the only thing you gotta watch out for, like evenly, lightning storm, stuff like that. But you have certain protections against that. The main thing is consistency. The Tenyis are consistent with themselves, and Invoked is just a consistent engine. You always recur your engine pieces. So if I had extra deck space, I would play more Invoke monsters. It's just too tight right now.
Yeah, I was just surprised that it works. It's kind of like similar to Crusadia, except Crusadia's biggest crutches, two things: heavily rely on their normal summon. So if you just Solemn Warning any of my Crusadia monsters or Solemn Judgment, the first one, then I'm dead. And the second thing is this recursion from the graveyard for literally every single Tenyi card, which is insane, absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's the one thing difference between Crusadia and Tenyi is Crusadia and Tenyi are inherently the same. Only Crusadias don't have graveyard effects besides Arborea. Right, and
Arborea is like still only decent. I wish it wasn't once returned. I really wish it wasn't, but
like if you swapped Nahada's effect for Arborea,
I would like that.
It'd be absolutely dumb.
Or like give I just think Crusadias just need one new monster that breaks the deck. If they just have like a decent monster that like lets them draw, because they have no draw power in the deck, absolutely none.
That's another issue with this deck as well. Drawing is you're reliant on your opening hand.
Yeah.
I don't like Extravagance because it banishes your extra deck. I don't like Desires because I usually banish all my Invoke pieces. It just budget version, you can run Desires, go for it, because all you're concerned with is Tenyis mostly, but with a more intricate build like this, you want to keep as many pieces and keep your options open. So that's why I like Avarice at 3. And I'm really surprised it's at 3, like, not even gonna lie.
It's actually nutty. Like, I can't believe the format is so fast that Pot of Avarice is okay at 3.
Because imagine, like, BA, like the 3-axis link, you
Rock
got
BA, yep.
Adamantia? Is that what it's called?
Adamantias?
Yeah, those. And then this, I mean, I think it's Adamantia. I think there's no N.
The Adamantimators. I'm looking at them.
Yeah, I hate that name so much.
Adamantia is so easier.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with the localization team. But anyway, yeah, this deck, a lot of fun. Definitely recommend picking it up. And I could be paranoid, but ever since I started playing this, a lot more people are playing Tenyi, and I'm a little concerned because the mirror match is funny because you lose the surprise factor. So
you also lose to Vanity's Fiend.
Yeah, whoever sacks Fiend first wins. It's kind of funny.
Mean, I normal summon my weenie, send Nahada to the graveyard, then attack over it.
Yeah, if Vanity's Fiend becomes more popular, I would just side in a ton of like Regeki Dark Hole, because why not?
Yeah, Regeki Dark Hole, I mean, Imperms?
Imperms are okay.
Yeah.
I have a love-hate relationship with it. I never draw it when I need it. Like, I went to the Providence regional, what we went to, I never drew Impermanence once. It was kind of nutty. Through 9 rounds. Didn't draw a 3-0 in my deck.
It's kind of funky, too, because like late game it becomes less relevant. Like late game, if they have like a grindy board, it only stops one card.
Yeah, it's fine. It's good on turn 3. If you can set up a board and then your opponent tries to follow up with a play, you can stop it.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, yeah, it's an iffy card.
I'm telling you, man, Storming Mirror Force is the future.
I'll keep that in mind. Maybe I'll add that to my side deck.
Dude, people don't see it coming, dude. I swear.
Yeah, don't get me started on our duels, so.
I played against this guy so many times. Like, every time he thinks he has game, I Storming Mirror Force him. For like 3 or 4 cards. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's an out to my deck, as if all my monsters are in attack positions, because they're usually links. And I'm just like, okay, I lose. Cool.
Alright, feels bad.
Yeah, it's fine. But I hope I could enlighten your viewership, and if anyone ever has questions, you can feel free to reach out. So, always happy to help.
Alright, cool. Hope you all enjoyed this whole hour and 7-minute documentary on
sorry to ramble.
On Tenyis and etc. Please let me know down below what you guys think of this. If I should live stream this sort of thing. This could technically be like a kind of like a mini podcast, even.
It could be.
Yeah, where you're listening in the car, because a lot of this is just a blank screen, or like a screen where you're just looking at cars. So just listen to this with your headphones when you're driving or whatever. This could possibly be a thing, but let me know down below what you guys think about it. And yeah, you have any last words?
Not really, but if people are open to a live duel, hit that like button. Let's see what happens. So.
Alright, cool. I am AkemiTCG. If you guys stuck around, thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate it. Alright. Stay beautiful, everyone.
The world ends now.